All right. Hey, Jeffrey.
Hi, Lou. How are you?
I'm pretty good.
What a fun week in baseball.
Yeah.
Did you
Well,
see the Yankees announcer get hit in the head with a
I
baseball?
know.
Fell back and smacked him right off the noggin. Damn near knocked his glasses off, but he took him off on his own. That was good. That hit him quick.
The ball hit me
Yeah.
on the head. Right
He's
on
like,
the noggin.
ouch. You know what? If that was Harry Carey, he would have caught that with a fishing net. Oh shit. All right, so we got a second timer now.
Yeah, first time that we're second time through the order.
Yep.
First
And
time,
it doesn't
second time.
necessarily have to be in that order, but we can see how people fucking play out.
Yeah.
See where their time is.
All right, do you want to bring in Senior Larkin now?
Yeah, why not? Let's see if he's in front of his computer. I heard he was in Michigan.
Catfish.
Hey, catfish. Catfish napkin. Chris,
There he is.
where's your bunker? And tell me
Yeah.
how to get there. Because
He's
the
at
end of the world is coming. I want to be
he's at Kaczynski's old place.
there. Yeah, there was a vacancy recently.
Oh, he's gone. He didn't like that joke.
What?
He didn't like the joke.
No. I just think he's got bad Wi-Fi service out where he's at, to be honest with you. Trying to connect to audio.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on?
Let me see if I can find you now.
Right.
There we go.
All you gotta do is put on your video if you can.
Yep. Video stopped. Done speaking. What are you doing?
Here we go.
All right.
We're just talking about your bomb shelter.
Exactly.
High in the mountains outside of Helena, Montana.
You didn't
believe it was going to happen.
Kaczynski's old place up.
Oh, you'll be coming up here. We'll be meeting here and having auctions up here in the future. You'll see.
Fucking awesome. How's what's the height ratio there? It's like if you stand up, how tall are the ceilings?
Oh, this thing probably 10-foot ceilings.
All right, I can walk under that.
So this one has it.
Chad more than I.
Yeah, they built this thing over 100 years ago.
Jesus.
But the family who built it, they had some money when they built it, so I guess they built it pretty sturdy. It's still standing for 100 years. So.
Look, yeah, it looks like really fresh wood too.
Nothing's been changed. That's the beauty of it.
Shit.
Yeah. All original. They've added stuff to make it more modern. Obviously, you put in bathrooms. We got a functional kitchen. Redid the bathroom this year, but they also do to make it to fit the old style on the. It's put in a new bath and new toilet and mount so that the wood wasn't rotting anymore.
You're in Michigan right now?
Yep, northern Michigan.
Michigan.
Knocker's got a little hint on a lefty prospect hitting lefty.
What town?
Scout him.
What town are you in? That's my dad's home area.
We're in Roscommon.
Don't know it.
Which is south of the small town south of Grayling. Grayling is about 60 miles southeast of Traverse.
Oh, so you're Lower Peninsula.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. I
Sorry.
thought you meant Upper Peninsula.
No. He's part of the glove.
We're part of the mitten. But yeah,
Well,
it's nice to be up here. We're all settled in. Kids are all doing good. Dog's laying down in the bed behind me. She's all worn out. Things going well.
you're there for how long?
For a week. We come up for a week at a time. During COVID, we came up and stayed. Oh shit! Sorry, gotta plug my phone in. We came up for during COVID and stayed up here for a full month. It was just
Oh, that probably had been great.
yeah. Chris just worked from up here because she was zooming everything. I mean, it was
Oh boy.
just nature. So I'm sorry, everybody. Jesus, where you go? Where you go? Fuck's sake.
All you people out there drink Labatt Blue. Blue. Blue.
What happened to me?
Blue.
There he is.
Well, Catfish went back down into the muck.
Oh my god! I can't do anything right this year. I'm having a hell of a year. Every
Jeff said a couple of. Oh, I don't even know if he can hear us. Jeff
I
said a
can
couple
hear
of.
you.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know. How do I get my video going again? I'm not too bright.
What are you working with?
Zoom. No, I don't know what I'm doing.
You got a laptop?
No.
Is it
Sure
your phone?
Hi.
Hold on, see if I can like override and fucking make your camera come on. Hold on a second.
So Jeff said a couple of weeks ago that you were thinking about picking up a reliever. And
I said,
and
ask
you
to
ended up
start
doing bad
video.
too.
If it gives you that option, say yes.
Yes,
Hey,
yes, yes.
there he is. Brr, brr, da, da.
Well, let's dive into the standings real quick, okay?
Oh,
All right,
God,
fucking,
no.
I am down.
No. This is the worst part.
This is like just humiliating for me right now.
I saw the Gaggers are catching up to Phil. What, you're 8 points behind yesterday or today?
Yeah, I don't think it's so much I'm catching up. It's just that he's going through a little patch. So you
Oh,
can
if he's
see.
going through a patch, man, I feel bad for Hack.
So you can see that we both went 2 and 4. So it's not like I'm really, catching up as so much that we both.
Paul is making a good run for being. I mean, is he just leading everybody in the buttas? But I mean,
Who?
Paul.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he has 12 points more than me, but he's 7 games closer.
Yeah, he's only 3.5 back. Baked went 6-0. I mean, kudos to them. They they just edged out Spear by 2 points for the 6-0.
Ooh, that was close.
A little frustrating for Spear, I'm sure. Get 500 points and you don't get the 6-0.
Oh man, it was so close.
And then Hack, oh my god, just more bad stuff with Hack. 0-6. They didn't need another 0-6, that's for sure.
I had 4 starting pitchers going on Sunday, and I got shit points out of all of them.
That's depressing. You're like excited for that day, and then it unfolds, and you get like
it's like, oh man, maybe I'll make some
4.
ground and get myself up to a 4-2, maybe a 3-3. Nope.
Yeah, 1 and 5.
Bullshit.
Jeff and I were talking a couple of weeks ago, and he was saying, yeah, when you get that negative start from a pitcher, it'll kill your week. Yeah, totally agree. Then the next week, I had 11 pitchers have negative points for a total of negative 54 for the week. And you're like, there's just nothing you can do.
The whole fucking week?
Yeah. I mean, everybody I was picking up people and they get -6. Pick up another one, -6.
Like bad luck. And there's nothing but shite on the fucking line right now.
I forgot to pick a guy up and he got -10. So I avoided one.
That's the one shining light.
Exactly. Sorry, I thought about picking you up, Joe Kelly.
God damn.
Well, anyways,
Chris, I have a gift for you.
Oh.
Next time I see you.
Oh, I was hoping there was a couple wins in the standings.
No, they're
break
coasters.
Oh,
for your baseball room.
Fantastic.
It's got the lineup of the Cubs. the championship game in the World Series, who was on the field when the game ended.
Awesome. Thanks, dude.
But they're leather, so this is probably gonna rub off.
Yeah.
It's just an Amazon find, or I found this on fucking something.
Awesome.
But I don't know. Enjoy.
Hey, you're always thoughtful. Thanks, buddy.
Wait a minute. There's a couple other plays on here too. Oh, there's a home run, Fowler's home run.
Mm-hmm.
And Bryant's home run. And what the fuck is this? Oh, the Zobrist hit.
Oh, the Zobrist double that
yeah. It's just kind of cool. I don't know.
That's awesome. Thanks, dude.
No problem, dude. This is your prize for being on the Beer League podcast.
Participation award, you know.
Hey, all you other guys out there, don't think I'm going to do this every time.
Well, we see that.
How are the Gaggers holding up, Lou?
The Gaggers have not been doing too well, but luckily Satch has cooled off a bit, so that's good. That's good for all of us.
Second place. Can't complain. Man.
Look at this. You got 5 teams within 5.5. Even down in the bottom, you've got 4 teams within 4 games. And then you've got kind of knockers and McBrides in their own little turf here in the middle.
Do you think is pitching scoring as much this year?
I don't think so, but I don't have that. It's hard to figure it. It's hard to figure it out in the middle of the year because of the overages that get corrected. We could look at like maybe points per non-save hold points per inning pitched or something like that, and that would be
compared to other years maybe.
Yeah,
but it just feels like maybe it's just poor managing this year. But yeah, I'm just even watching, baseball games. Guys only going 4 innings. Middle relievers picking up a lot of wins this year. I don't know.
I think the average start is still over 5. It's really similar to what it was last year, but I don't know that for 100% sure. But it hasn't moved that much. I'd like to see it if they could just have the average start go to like 5 2/3 innings. I think that would make it where no decisions would be about like 1/3, as opposed to now they're creeping up toward 40%. It's like 38%. No decisions.
And make a big difference for the fantasy players with starters.
I wanted to point out that Let's Play had exactly 420 points this week.
Hey!
So they win the Holy Cows party pack and 4 tickets to a future game in section 420. So he's got to talk to Commissioner Lund about that. I mean, GM Lund about that. And then Buddha standings, Let's Play still on top. By 2 games, they should have extra, and then Bizzotti's still the lucky laggards, about 6.5.
Ooh, good for him.
Yeah. We talked about when he was on. Some of it was by design earlier in the year, but he's also got a little lucky too. That's a lot of games. Games played overage and underage. You can see Spears pretty far up, and Sombreros and Baked are way down. So if they want to, they could. There's definitely points they could have at the between now and the end of the year by just increasing their games played for position players. See, knockers are right in the middle, and Baked is the new. This should have been in red too. Baked is the new overage. They took over from knockers.
How the hell have you got 100 innings over by now? How the fuck you do that?
I'm way over too, dude.
I know you are. You were like over 100. I'm like, how the fuck is anybody at 100 at this point right now?
Well, next year we should see a lot of relief in that. We won't have to, be managing the overage quite so carefully. Kind of like games played. Like games played, I'm like struggling to get my guys to the max. I'm under in most positions by like a game or something. But innings pitched, everybody's just would be over if you just left to start all your if you didn't convert to middle relievers and you didn't pick and choose your starts like John does. You'll be left with a big overage. I don't know. Did you? I was curious when you went when you had the 0-6 week. when Kimmel went 6-0. Did you rest some starters? I was wondering if you were taking care of your overage during that week.
Oh, no. I was chasing. I was chasing the whole thing. I kept grabbing guys. It got even worse. So it started on, my guys were doing bad through like Tuesday and Wednesday. Then I started chasing on Thursday, Friday, and then I was in. So yeah, that's how you get 11 guys who keep doing negative. So you're picking up, well, let's try these 3 relievers. -6. Fuck these guys, grab new guys. Yeah, it was terrible. Yeah, last week I was in a funk. I was pissy about it. I was like, screw these guys. I'm not making any moves.
I really haven't made moves lately. I don't know what I can't pull the trigger on anything, and I don't except for putting Baez in for a little while when Adames was on concussion. I bet you it's been about 2 weeks since I've really made a move besides that.
No, I made a bunch of moves a couple days ago. I went into this season thinking I was set at first base. I had a $1 Tristan Casas, a $1 Rowdy Tellez, however you want to say him. Neither of them made it through June. They're both gone off the team. I went with now I got a Nolan Jones. Remember Nolan Jones?
Nolan Jones is actually hitting the ball.
He's on Colorado, right?
He hit the shit out of that one yesterday, like 472 or something.
Yeah, he's playing tonight he's playing in Fenway tonight.
Yeah, and I picked up Ryan Noda, this guy on the A's who's just leading off and playing first base.
They're talking about him being something. I don't know. I mean,
there's these guys.
Power.
I have no ties to the guys who I had. They were doing nothing. Screw it. You're gone. Done. Grab some new guys.
It was just last week that I saw Noda's numbers, on MLB Network, and I was like, holy cow! There's this whole baseball world going on that I don't know anything about. Like, these guys just sneak up on me. I hadn't even heard of that guy really before.
He's just rounded out. He's got like a little points coming from everywhere.
Mm-hmm. And they bat him leadoff, so he's going to bat 4 times.
He doesn't have a huge batting average or anything. He doesn't like really stand out, but he just does everything a little bit okay. I mean,
plays in front of 2,000 people every night.
But when your knowledge isn't current, like mine isn't sometimes, then it makes me say things that I wouldn't have said otherwise if I had known about Noda. Like I thought when Voit got released, maybe the A's would come knocking because they just gotten rid of Aguilar, but they don't need Luke Voit. Noda's better than Luke Voit, at least.
Yeah, they got someone on major league minimum, Yeah.
The Mets actually picked up Voit.
Could you imagine if Noda got traded from the A's to the Yankees and went from playing in front of 2,000 people to playing in front of a full fucking crowd? How that would fuck him up.
Maybe, yeah.
Or would it make him fucking just be a fucking superstar? Who knows? I mean, it's just but it's an interesting fucking thing to watch.
It's a small sample. I'm not, not
even anywhere else in Oakland, to be honest with you.
But anyways, there are a lot of players that I don't. It's good that I watch the MLB Network because I'm so stuck on in my baseball world that I don't know if I'm set at a position, I don't even pay attention to the.
Well, don't feel like you're not too far behind. I mean, I honestly didn't know about Ryan Noda until I picked him up. It's not like I went searching for Ryan Noda. I'm sick of this Rowdy Tellez guy who doesn't score me any points. Is there anybody else at first base? Hey, look, this guy has scored a bunch of points in the last 2 weeks. I'm going to give this asshole a shot. So,
it's like you're looking at 14 weeks back. Or 14 days back? What's his point total?
Exactly. He's one of the top guys. So I'm like, you know what? He's doing better than Rowdy fucking Tellez and Tristan Casas. Fuck these guys. Let's go. You're on the team.
Dude, that's the way most of it works.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know shit about Ryan Noda, but he's welcome on the Knockers.
And
you don't know that.
Weekend Warriors, McBride's, had the +2. Knockers actually had +2, so you did some Weekend Warrior and what did you go last week?
0-6 last week, and I was at a 1-5, so I actually
3-3. Okay.
3-3.
Yeah,
but yeah,
the Gags also. So the Gags went 2-4. I was on pace for 0-6, so 2-4 looks good compared to 0-6, I guess.
Yeah, I was 1 under in April. I was 2 games under in May. Yeah, we're still sitting at 3 games under for the year. At this rate,
Dads
not
and
going
Hack,
well.
Dads
Not
and
going
Hack,
well.
Dads and Hack were co-straw spinners. Dads went from a 3-3 to a 1-5, and Hack went from 2-4 to the 0-6.
Ooh,
it's bad times.
Oof.
And then I tried to organize this a little bit different. The BABIP. So this is the lucky hitting points BABIP, and Let's Play leads with plus 27. And Dads are still the unlucky BABIP hitting points at minus 29.
Absolutely.
And these are estimates. These aren't, it's just my best estimate.
Yeah.
And then lucky BABIP pitching points.
I'm not going to disclaim that.
Yeah, I tried last week. I didn't do too good job, but Let's Play is according to this has the most lucky BABIP pitching points, and Satchel is the most unlucky BABIP pitching points according to this. So anyways, and the top four is still the same as last week. Predicted top four. You can see players of the week. McBride's had Ellie De La Cruz, and this is his first week that he came up.
Good.
He's player of the week. And Gary Sanchez, the captain, multi-team cast off, hitting homers for the Padres now.
Was he on the Giants earlier?
He was on the Mets. He was on the Giants. Yeah, Giants then the Mets. I think it was Giants. Yeah.
Everyone's passing on him. Is he not a good guy, or is he just they're tired of it?
I know the Mets was just a numbers game.
He's a hit or miss. He's like, he can get you minus fucking 20, and he can get you fucking 6.
Sombreros had a couple of players of the week. I thought I'd mention it because I don't really mention the Sombreros too much in the write-ups, because they haven't really. I don't think they've gone 6-0, and I don't think they really go 0-6. They're always like in the 3-3 area, which doesn't get written about. But I thought I'd mention that they had 2 players of the week, Jose Ramirez and Corbin Carroll. And
seems about that time of year when Jose Ramirez starts hitting about 400 for the rest of the year.
He was a little underwhelming, but I don't think he ever really worried too much.
Luis Arraez.
I was thinking about him and looking him up on the league, that he's a 400 hitter, but without anything else, that doesn't do a whole lot for you in beer league. I feel like
if he steals bases and he gets doubles and triples, but I mean, he's not really a power hitter. I get that, but
point wise, he's the same as Whit Merrifield this year, basically.
Yeah.
Well,
I was just looking at it today. It's like
a serviceable infielder.
4 more, but guys hitting 400. That's awesome. I love it. I loved Rod Carew in '77 and watching George Brett. Was that 1980 or whatever?
John Olerud.
Yeah, the Olerud one. Tony Gwynn during the strike year. I mean, that was fun. I always liked that. But
so, Chris, hey, I have to ask you. Seeing what Ellie De La Cruz is doing now, do you regret trading him for Kyle Tucker?
Oh no, I kind of knew he was fantastic, and it'd be great to hold on to, but that's the way the Knockers kind of view the prospects.
I traded De La Cruz to you, right?
Yep. I just got him 2 months ago because you said that you were. Him. Yeah, so I knew he'd be great, but I always wanted Kyle Tucker. I love Kyle Tucker. Sure enough, I was like, that he doesn't wear the batting gloves. The week after I get him, he starts wearing batting gloves. Whatever.
But I traded him because I knew that he was going to get called up this year, and I didn't want to get nothing for him. I really love to try to trade the NA guys in the off season to try to sweeten the pot and a deal, that kind of thing,
Oh, okay.
But last year I had Michael Harris and Corbin Carroll, and I just lost them for nothing. Francisco Alvarez too, I think. So those guys I didn't know were going to get called up that year.
I almost put in a claim for Francisco Alvarez, and I balked on it, and I wish I wouldn't have, to be honest with you. That was a fucking...
He looks good. The defense is fine, too. I mean, it's all it has to be.
Every day?
Who is it?
Is he playing every day?
Yeah.
No, not quite yet.
Well, now with Narvaez back, he's going to split time, but he's going to play a lot.
Exactly.
They know that he's the future, and
they'll put him at DH a little bit here and there too.
Good.
His catching is not bad, though. It is not bad. That's really all it has to be. It's just can't be horrible.
Right.
It's definitely not horrible, and it's probably close to average. I don't have metrics in front of me, but just eyeballing he looks fine. His arm is not bad either. So
from afar, what's causing the Mets to have their troubles this year? Is it the veteran pitching that isn't coming through, or is it hitting?
Well, I mean,
that's part of it.
Scherzer and Verlander haven't pitched well. I think they combined for about a league average ERA plus. Senga's looked good sometimes and not so good some other times, and he walks too many guys when he's not good. And that was his scouting report coming over. So nothing's a big surprise, really. You know,
bullpen has turned out all right though with Robertson and the setup guys, right?
And okay. I mean, they don't. You know, the Diaz thing, it pushes everybody up a notch.
Yeah,
it's better if you didn't have to do that. But you know, they just got mediocre. Some guys that are, you know, they're older now. They're 34, I think. Canna's doing better lately. Thank goodness. He's on my team. But you know,
Nimmo and Marte doing the same.
Marte's only on year 2 of a 4-year deal, and he's really looking like a guy that's he's definitely coming on. He's definitely doing better than he was. But
how do you like Batty at third? Is he still playing?
Who?
Brett Batty? Is he playing third base?
He's just done mediocre. He hasn't done great.
I know that. I've got him.
His glove looks okay though. That was like again another one of the bigger fears.
It's just gonna take a little time for him to find his niche in the bat area. I mean, it's like it could happen after the All-Star break. Who knows? But
I don't see any places they're looking. Where would they be looking to improve in their starting rotation?
It's really tough with them. Yeah. I mean, they just need the guys they have to play better. I mean,
kind of like the White Sox. Yeah.
I mean,
what they need to do is they need to trade off Scherzer and fucking Verlander at the trade deadline and get that fucking money off their books and fucking say goodbye.
Yeah, well, good luck.
They don't worry about money. That's what their concern is.
You'd have to pay half of their remaining salary. I mean, I don't know.
Hey, how long are they signed for?
Only like a year or two.
Scherzer's signed for 1 more year up to this. I think it's only like 15 million. I could be wrong on that. Verlander's only signed for 1 more year, but that's 45 million or something. But
it's a 2-year. Let's go for it, big money guys.
What you do is you fucking pay half their fucking salary and get better fucking draft or get a better prospects out of it.
No, I don't know.
I think that go over in the New York media.
they're just a mess. They're just not very good. I mean,
like a fucking Canadian wildfire.
I mean, they're gonna do better, and of course they could easily make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go position by position with the Braves are better than they are.
You know what sucks? It sucks that Pete Alonso was mouthy one day and got hit in the fucking hand the next.
Did they hit his hand or his wrist?
Oh, they hit him on the hand. They threw in to do something like that because he was fucking popping off. It's like, why don't you guys play baseball and fucking like, you know what? If you do something good, walk the fuck up and shut the fuck up.
Crowd was applauding when he was down.
What team hit him?
I'm sure they were because he did what he did the day before.
Yeah,
it's like you invited that to yourself. The fuck? Don't be a dummy.
Well, let me.
What team were they playing?
I don't know. Oh, who did hit him?
It was the Reds, right?
Okay.
No.
Was it the Reds?
It was the series before the Pirates. Was it the Reds?
We're up here in the sticks. We ain't watching the game, so I'm out of the loop. I didn't hear what happened.
Just playing your banjo and spitting tobacco in a spittoon.
Any left-handed power hitters up here? Looking for a Sid Finch.
So here's that BABIP for hitting points. So it's based on an estimated 1.885 points per hit in our league. So you get a non-home run hit. I should have said non-home run hit. The average amount of points is like 1.9 or something like that. So that's how I converted it from BABIP to points. So the amount of extra hits and times that 1.9 or so. And then you multiply the whole thing by 64% because that's what the article in Fangraphs said, that 64% of hitters' BABIP is luck. It's not all luck. You can have speed guys and contact and all that stuff. Pitcher BABIP is 75% luck, so it's a little more random for pitchers. And the other factors would be the pitcher skill and then the defense behind him, turning hits and balls in play into outs. So I don't know. I even did the save hold luck. You can see it's almost not worth going into because it's 1 point extra for
Let's play.
1 less point for Satch. So Satch can look forward to the rest of the year having an extra point. Saves and holds. I guess we're not halfway through, so it'd be more than that. But anyways, I want to feature. I did this too. Save hold points. This is just 4 times saves plus 3 times holds. So you can see as the most points from the bullpen. It's Satch, and then the least is the knockers. Probably not a
like he had a bunch of negatives or something. What a dummy!
But this doesn't, no innings pitched, no earned runs. It's just saves and hold points.
Oof.
But
stupid bullpens.
So let's feature the knockers here. Let's see the knockers. So the knockers hitting is pretty good. Second in runs per game, second in weighted on base, second in OPS. So
hitting 9th in batting average. Lots of walks.
Yeah, hitting looks good. Tons of walks and lots of strikeouts too.
Yeah, it's us.
And but it's the pitching that's just bad.
Oh,
11th and 5th, 10th in ERA. We already know that your bullpen is the worst in the league so far. So this is the knockers' problems are right here. It's all right here.
Yep, all pitchers. Yeah, that's the one year I decided to invest in pitching. That's what you get, dummy.
The hitting can contend.
Not much better, man.
Oh, I'm the worst pitching one of the worst pitchers in the league.
Stat-wise. No, I'm just there with you.
Ooh.
Jeff noticed this last week. I have the from the auction the discretionary dollars spent on hitting and pitching.
Mm-hmm.
So we can see that knockers spent 83% on hitting, 17% on pitching. So you spent slightly more than the average on hitters and slightly less than average on pitching.
Mm-hmm. I've rarely spent more than a couple dollars on a pitcher, but yeah, this year I had like two pitchers over 20.
Yeah, for you it was a lot. I mean, it was still more an average league average amount, slightly.
Did you see that Alex Manoah, my best pitcher last year?
Oh my God!
They sent him down to single A.
Yeah,
he fucked up. He's just, I don't know, that dude. His mechanics are all fucked up.
He's walking everybody. He's giving up too much walks, and then when he corrected that, he's giving up homers. It's either he's got a tell or he just can't throw the ball over the plate. It's
the only indication I read in the offseason, and this is just probably to cover their ass in case he doesn't do well, is Prospectus was talking about how he's had success, so the results are there, but they still weren't convinced as far as his ability to eliminate contact. So that was the one thing that they said. But really, it's tough to find anything anybody would have to say negative about him. In the off season, all the books and magazines we bought.
I want to meet the person that fucked him up.
What are you gonna do?
I don't know. It's like what why? He was doing so good.
Why you gotta change anything?
Was this his wife? Was this his fucking pitching coach? Was it his manager? Was it a fucking outfielder that kept picking on him? What the fuck happened?
I think stats wise, I think I mentioned this one time. I don't know. I don't even know if it was on the podcast, but the denominators in the pitching stats are more volatile than the denominators in the hitting stats because they're based on outs. So if you have 10 at bats, and the guy has 3 hits as opposed to 4 hits, his batting average would be 100.10 difference. But in the pitching, if you take a hit, or let's say you take an out and make it into a hit. So let's say the 400 batting average. So you would have had 4 hits. Let's do a hits per inning pitched stat. So you'll have 4 hits in 6 outs. So in 2 innings. So that's 2 hits an inning. Where if you had one more out, then you would have had 3 hits in 2 1/3 innings, as opposed to so it's a whatever that number is. I wish I picked easier numbers to do, but 3 divided by 2 1/3 compared to the other scenario, which was 1 and 1.5. I think it was 1 and 1. I'm all screwed up. It'd be better if I had the numbers in front of me. But you know what I'm trying to say is that the pitching stats are more volatile just in the way they're set up. And I'm not saying that pitchers aren't volatile, but they're not helped by the fact that we're not looking at plate appearances. We do have batters facing pitcher, but nobody uses that. The only time I see it used now is in K percentage and BB percentage. You know, that's based on batters face, which is, you know, it's clearly a better way to look at pitchers than looking at K per innings and walks per innings, because, you know, partly for the reason I just said, you know, that the denominators are more in line with what the hitter denominators are. You know, I mean, hitters, we don't judge a hitter hits divided by outs or something like that. You know, we could do that, but we don't do that. So I think that's why it makes pitchers look just nuts from year to year. You know, part of the reason anyway. Part of the reason.
That's why those pitchers that are dependable are so valuable.
Yeah. Well, you know, in our league, if you have a hitter that's not doing well, what's the word? He's just going to give you like a point or two a game. You know, it's going to suck, but he's not going to like kill your week. You know what I mean? Like 1 point from Javi Baez for the day doesn't kill you, but like, you know, -8 when you're counting on maybe you could get 15 or something. You know, that's the kind of stuff.
Just the whole way of getting negative points from the pitchers. I mean, that's the chance you're taking every time. With the batter, I mean, the only way he's getting negative is from a caught steal, and then he was on base anyway, so you're breaking. You got nothing.
And we did away with the caught stealing, 10 years ago or something like that. We did that
Good news.
because we recognized that the power guys were kind of, you know, maybe a little overvalued. You know, so it's anyways, for the rest of the year, for the rest of the year, the knockers are predicted to go 42-51.
Ooh.
This would be partly because you still have I think probably the second biggest IP overage. I'm guessing that's what it is.
You think that worked to my advantage, having less pitching when my pitching is so bad? Now, I got all my bad pitching out of the way.
Yeah, am I looking at this correctly? I'm looking at the pitching overages. I think. No,
I'm
that's
like
looking at points. Never mind. I was seeing something different. Anyway.
So the predicted standings for the end of the year has Hack in the basement now. I mean, you know, they've been doing that pace for a while now, so they're going to be here. Daddies are next, and then Baked. So
maybe
McBride's really will be able to stay out of the basement this year. But
I'm impressed.
These are pretty volatile too, as you know. So you go on the knockers going to 14-4, and then, you know, they're going to be like here, you know. So
we'll see this year. Yeah.
So what, 96, 97 wins? These are kind of tempered, so I wouldn't be surprised if we have more than that from the first place team. But
you never know who's going to get hurt.
That's what the faith is now. I guess that's
the thing is, when the injuries come into effect, it's like that's out of left field, so you never know when that's going to happen.
Yeah,
especially with Pete Alonso.
Exactly, out of first base.
So yeah,
that fucking sucked.
So knockers are +112, and actually Bizzotti's second at +113. So, and nobody's under. So we need more innings. You know, next year we'll have a higher IP max, and we won't be as ridiculous with this, because you can see games played. You do have Spears up 30, but there's a lot of teams under. So it's a challenge to get to the max. And pitching, it's not a challenge to get to the max. The challenge is like, how do you deal with, you know, whittling away, you know, your max, you know. So
what is the cause and effect of this? Are we gonna like just add a starting pitching spot and still keep 3 RPs?
Yes, that's right. That's probably what we should have done right from the get-go when we added holds, but I wasn't sure. I guess the reason
the amount of players we used to carry before was what, like 33? Was it
30?
30, and is it going to go to 31 because of that?
No, we're already at Yahoo's max of 30, so that's all.
Okay.
We should be okay. The hitting positions, you have backups because you need guys that qualify at that particular position to to get up to the max. But pitching, you don't care. You know, innings are innings. You know, I mean, hopefully you get as many high leverage innings in there as possible with your 3 closers, and then you can play around with middle relievers and stuff like that. But we should be a little less of
so
that.
we're only going to have like 2 relievers then, right?
We're gonna have 3 relievers.
Mm-hmm.
Three relievers and 8 starting pitchers.
Yeah. So
and right now we're at 7 and 3.
Yeah, we were at 8 and 2, and what we probably should have done is just gone to 3 relievers right at that point, as opposed to taking away a starting pitcher.
Okay.
But I've figured it out that
that's going to make the SP-RP more valuable.
Yeah, I wouldn't go into it if I felt that teams would have to stream in order to reach the IP max. And I really don't think that. I guess the reason I didn't know that before was because I was just looking at the top 108 pitchers or something like, and adding up their innings, and I was like, geez, I don't think we can. I think we'll have to have one less starting pitcher. But anyways, what I forgot to include was that those guys in the top 110 or 20, they go on the IL, and then you replace them. So I wasn't counting any kind of replacement starts, and I really
replacement level pitchers.
Yeah, I really dove into numbers like every 5.77 days you're on the IL, you would have another start, and that was a conservative amount. And anyways, so I just want to assure you that according to my math, people will not need to stream in order to reach the IP max next year.
Perfect.
Because I don't like to stream myself for some of the reasons you guys said. I mean, I have a tough enough time deciding who I'm going to go the rest of the season with, and then suffering with their bad starts, let alone pick up a pitcher that nobody else wants and put him in that day. I mean, I know there's guys in our league that can do that well. I don't think I'm one of them, so I don't even. I do like mini streaming maybe if I got like an IL situation, maybe I'll pick this guy up and then, but it's real limited, So
I just always look forward to see every season there's some pitchers that come out that no one's thinking about, whether I don't know. They come from out of nowhere, and then Spencer Strider's gonna be in Cy Young Award winner. You're like, geez,
yeah.
If we could just
nobody saw that coming.
And it seemed like the league has gone that way as far as paying pitching. Everyone is kind of like, well, I'm not going to blow all my salary here, which allows you to drop these players and make them more expendable.
Yeah.
So you're not tied. I mean, it's hard to drop that guy who you paid $60 for.
Absolutely.
But I had Rowdy tell us and Cassis at $1, and it's like, you know what? I didn't pay shit for him. It's nothing lost, and if they are, fuck them. Screw them. So
Who
those
has
$1 players, you can just stream
Who
them.
has Strider? Is that Satch?
Who was that?
Who has
Strider? Yeah, Satch has got Strider.
Yeah, so I guess I want to, if I'm going to say that that it's not possible to do that, I just mean I'm more saying that it's not possible for me to do that because
exactly.
So what I'm thinking happens is that we of course all remember Spencer Strider, but we don't remember the 2 or 3 or 4 guys that bombed out, and
exactly, for sure.
But
that's
maybe I'm overstating that. Maybe it's a good gamble because
there's more than one way to play in beer league. There's different approaches to play, and you don't know which way is going to win. That's what I like about it.
But it is awful tempting when you see that to be like, shit, I want that. I want the $1 guy that wins the Suck Up. So,
hey, did you guys happen to see the 4-man booth for the Atlanta Braves?
No. Who was in it?
So it was Jeff Francoeur,
yep,
John Smoltz, Tom Glavine, and Chipper Jones.
Oh, 4 white guys. Yeah.
But it was like they each got an inning where they can call like a home run fucking call and stuff. And it was just like Jeff Francoeur was fucking hilarious. I mean, he was funny. But you have to watch the clips on YouTube or whatever. Just look it up online.
It is talking old baseball stories.
They were just having fun. It was just like 4 baseball players. Nobody was a color guy. They're all like imitating color guys, like Francoeur was doing Hawk Harrelson and Chipper Jones. They kept calling him Larry because that's his real name. He did his own like rendition of some old like announcer. It was really cool, really cool.
Chipper named his daughter Shay, right? After Shay Stevens. hit so damn
He
well.
owns it.
I would have thought he would have named her Wood Chipper.
So Francoeur is on that panel with 3 Hall of Famers now. It's like it'd be like being on a panel with like you have Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Bezos, and then like this guy that owns like 3 car washes.
That's terrible, but yeah.
Frenchie.
He's a nice guy. And he was a serviceable player, but he was no Earl Baines.
I think from what I've heard, everybody likes Frenchie. That Frank.
Oh no, they love the fuck out of that guy.
Yeah, he played in Kansas City for a couple of years on the way out, and everyone loves him, and he's got a great reputation from what I hear.
He wasn't a bad player. Good. He just couldn't walk at all. That would have helped him a little bit. I think he was a good outfielder too. The Mets had him briefly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he would swing at everything. You're right.
So Chris.
Yes.
You joined the league in '96. That was the big year, right? That we had all the teams.
I think it was the year. No, yeah, you're right. It was like 23 teams or something. Exactly.
22 teams. That was '96. The last year of the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Did you like just wander into the store when you were setting up a show at Metro or something? How did you come in?
Yeah, I had just started working at Metro across the street, and I didn't really know anybody else there. So, like, for the first 2 shows, like a band would show up, you'd load them in, and I didn't know where to go. I didn't know where the crew room was. I didn't know where anybody else went. So I would hang out outside and wait for the next band. And if there's no band there, I'd walk across the street, and you had baseball books. So I just would look at the baseball books, and I loved them. So I started talking to you, and yeah, that's kind of how it all started. You invited me into the beer league. Asked if I'd played fantasy baseball, which I had played. I read the Rotisserie League baseball book when it came out in 81 or 82. In my freshman year of high school, I think that was.
Is that Glenn Wagner or Alex Patton?
Yeah, exactly.
Wagner? Okay, yeah.
With the D. Fledermaus and all those guys who wrote about it. But yeah, so in 1984, I got to be in a fantasy league with like my lab partner. We were freshman biology class, and my lab partner was this kid whose dad worked at a law firm, and the guys in the law firm were starting a fantasy league. And somehow they invited his kid to be in, so I was partners with his kid.
They were hard up. They needed players.
Exactly. And then they had 2 other kids in our class started another team. So yeah, that was my introduction. So I played for 3 years with I'd get calls in the middle of the evening from some lawyer from Chicago trying to trade so I had Dale Murphy and Mike Schmidt. It was fantastic. I thought I was hooked right from the moment I read the book. But then I didn't play for 10 years or about 8 or 10 years until I met you. And the opportunity to get back in was something I'd always wanted. So it was great. I would get those updates in the mail. We'd get the flyers with the standings. It was fantastic. It was just something to look forward to. And
you mean the beer league ones?
Yeah, they were great. I still got some copies back at home.
Isn't that funny? We would do the standings. I do standings on Monday, and I don't think I could get them out in the mail till Tuesday. And then you're getting them probably Thursday, maybe Wednesday on a good week. I don't know. So.
It was great. I always loved it. I was living with Red Hair Matt, I want to say at the time. No, it was before that. I was living underneath Red Hair Matt. So yeah,
you were living back at
it was really the only mail I got. So
you had to have been in this. Weren't you in this league when I met you?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So that was when you were at the when you were at the Metro House.
That was when I first started getting. You're right.
The day I met you, we just talked a bunch of fucking sports, and
I moved out of there in 95, 96, I want to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was great.
You know what's funny about you?
So I met you in I think 94, early 95.
Exactly.
Is if it's not like you wouldn't have been in the beer league without that chance meeting, because I sort of think because of the crowd that you worked at Lemmings, which was the same guy owns Underbar and Green Eye, right?
Not Underbar anymore.
But did. I mean, there might have been another one too back then. But Chad worked at Underbar, so I think there's a chance that even if you hadn't come into the store,
Eventually, I would 4
Yeah,
or 5 years
maybe,
later, I
you
would
know.
have met you through Chad. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, you were talking about that rotisserie book in 81, 82. That's years before I ever heard of anything. I think 89 might have been the first year I heard about. There was a guy that was playing in a rotisserie league. So I just knew vaguely about it. I didn't know much about it. But
were you in any leagues before Beer League?
No.
This is the only one.
Fantastic.
Isn't it crazy the way it's evolved?
You know, no football or any other sports either. So it was the first one. You know, that first year you weren't, 91 before your time. We had 4 categories. We were a category league. We didn't do points until 92. And I think that first year in 92, earned runs were -4. We were coming off a time when the league ERA was in the 3s, you know, and what I used to do to figure out the ERA cutoff was the worst pitcher in the league plus the best pitcher in the league. Their ERAs do like earned runs above or below average. So it couldn't just be a guy with 1/3 of an inning. He had to throw a lot of innings. So like last year was Patrick Corbin would have been the guy to pick, you know. But anyways, what was I saying? Oh, that first year we had runs batted in, and ERA and wins plus saves.
Nice.
Because we did it by hand. Didn't even have a computer then, you know. So we were.
Use the Sporting News or the USA Today.
Yeah. One of the weekly papers. I don't know, USA Today. Sean used to do it. We lived in the same boarding house. That's how I met Sean. But I was gonna say that when those rotisserie books came out, 81, 82, I read a lot of like Ron Chandler stuff, the baseball forecaster guy.
Yeah.
He said back then he's going to come out with a book in the fall, like Fantasy Expert or something like that. It might be a entertaining read. I'm definitely going to get it. But
I got one of his a couple years ago. It's like a fantasy forecaster, and it's all strictly numbers. It's just
strictly numbers. But
I didn't go back and follow up on it. But
he was saying back in 81, 82, nobody was 84 even. Nobody was predicting what the players were going to do. It was all they calculated dollar values and what they did the previous year.
Yep.
So people didn't start to think like, hey, that's good, but maybe what is he going to do this year?
You couldn't even get information on prospects back then. I mean,
right.
I remember the second year that I was in that whatever that baseball league was called. I don't even remember what it was, but some guy suggested we draft minor league players. We each draft 2 minor league players, and even finding information on a minor league player was crazy. Yeah. But I drafted Mike Bilecki from Pittsburgh and Mike Jackson, who wound up being that lefty reliever who played for 20-some years or something. But I'm just like, we're just literally. I found 2 names, so here, let's try these guys. I don't know what.
Yeah, it's the legend of Kevin Ory.
Exactly. We're literally just picking names out of a hat. I found a name. So
not bad.
Dude, I swear to God, the 70s and 80s for Cubs prospects was a who's who on what's what, not what to get fucking drafted in the first place.
Well, I'm doing the same thing now. I just grabbed Ryan Noda for the same thing. Shows you how much I've evolved in my scouting.
Go see a doctor to get that Noda removed.
But the advances in scouting numbers, analytics, is what has shortened the draft quite a bit. I mentioned that Piazza was drafting the 62nd round. They don't go 62 rounds anymore. There's not going to be somebody that's going to slip through the cracks that bad. It's just not going to happen like that.
We really haven't heard much. I mean, what was it, 2 years ago that they streamlined the minor leagues so that everyone has like 4 minor league teams now? Remember, that was a big deal, and that kind of went away. No one said anything about. No one's complaining about not enough minor leagues anymore.
Well, I think it's like better paying conditions for the players, and these towns, instead of being tethered to a major league club, I think since you have no choice, especially, you should look at it as an opportunity. I think the independent league teams are very interesting. Because that's like the only minor leagues that actually do any real scouting. There's no scouting for a minor league team that's the Cubs affiliate, because those decisions aren't made by you.
Exactly.
By the major league team. So I think it's kind of I guess it depends how you look at it, but I think that that would be a much more
bananas, and there's teams that can tour and do stuff like that, and they're having fun with it.
And then if you hit on something, you hit on something, then you sell them off to the major league team and you make a big profit. So I think it's a more interesting opportunity. You know, if you're going to work for a minor league team and you're interested in that kind of thing, I'd rather be in the analytics in the independent league team than work for a minor league team. Although I guess those guys do it because they're hoping to get the major league job.
Climb the ladder, Monty. Climb the ladder.
I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist here, but
Mulder.
I think they just want I think they want to squeeze it down a little bit so that fucking little fucking nobody fucking squirmy asshole from the fucking sticks comes through and looks like Ty Cobb and fucking knocks some kid out that his parents have spent fucking $15,000 sending him to camps or $30,000 spending him to camps and shit like that. I think they're just trying to whittle down where those people that aren't as entitled can get the space.
That's what the travel baseball is all about, right? I mean,
that's what I'm talking about. It's that shit right there.
The opportunities
for them to cut down the minor league system like that, basically what it's saying is if you don't pay the fucking dues and send your kid to travel ball and shit, you have no chance of making the big leagues.
I think losing the minor leagues is all about money. That's just they streamline. They don't have to pay all 60 extra people. Or
they don't pay those fucking players shit.
Exactly. And then like you say, you streamline it down from instead of having 200 people to have to choose from. When I know that those bottom 60 ain't gonna do nothing, let's just make it 140, right? So I get it.
Well,
I don't know. I think
like you're saying,
coaches not wanting to develop players.
I
think down the line there's going to be room. There's going to be room for a lot of input from those independent league teams because the guys that don't, fit the easy mold, or there are guys that are going to fall through the cracks if you have a limited amount of minor league spots and the draft is shorter. So I don't know. If I was in a town that was far from a major league city and we had an independent league team, I'd be into it. I read a couple of really good books, but I don't think I can remember the title, so that's not much good. But it was about an independent league team out in the West Coast, and I'll try to get the title for next time. But it was a great book, really entertaining book, and you'd probably get it for
look what they did to the Portland Mavericks back in the day.
Yeah, that's a great documentary. I've watched that.
Oh my god, Masters of Baseball.
Yeah,
that's one of my favorite baseball documentaries of all time.
And
that was really well done.
That came about because they lost their major league affiliation. So I mean, that whole story. I mean, they were free to think outside the box because they had to, and they came up with some really good shit.
Yeah,
it was a great story, great team.
And one of the guys that was on that team came up with Big League Chew. And I know I used to get that. No, I used to get that all the time at the candy stand at the baseball park.
That was great for Little League also.
Oh my god. You have so much gum in your mouth, your cheeks sticking out like you're catfish hunter. Catfish napkins.
Hey Chris?
Yeah.
You finished last one year, and I think it was 2005.
Yep.
That was the year we had the redraft at the Underbar.
Yep.
But I remember a year, and I'm pretty sure the draft was at the Beetle, because that's where I'm picturing it happening. That you weren't.
That I gave you the envelopes.
Yeah.
Right?
So I always thought that was the year you came in last, but it wasn't.
Oh no! Yeah, I think it was. No, the year I came in last was I forget what happened, but I was a busy motherfucker. What year was it? You said
2005, and it was a redraft, so no players carried over, and it was at Underbar while Chad was working his shift. The first half of at least the first half of the draft.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that draft. Yeah. Yeah, I just things seemed to go wrong that year.
It just all went to shit, bro. It happens.
There was one. I remember there was. No, I couldn't tell you. Yeah.
I finished last the next year.
Where would you put them?
You finished last in 05. I finished last in 06. That was my only year in
That was the eye opener, wasn't it, Lou, for both of us?
I moved that year, but that wasn't really an excuse. I really tried, and I just did terrible. What could I say? I pretty much did the things I did the year before and the year after, but that year it was no good. So.
Yeah, it's kind of how I feel about this year. Things just aren't working very well, and I'm very surprised. But what do you know? You don't.
Yeah, I looked at the history. You've had years where you finished in the middle, 2/3 of the way down. Like you've had like mediocre years. But I guess when I think of you, I think of that period from it was like around 2013 to 16. In that area, you finished second, first. Those 4 years in a row.
It was a really good run, those Pujols years. Yeah. Pujols and I got Trout. Yeah. Once I got Trout, I think there was the last year I had like Trout, Betts, and someone else. It was and Machado. So
but if you think about that, now there's like guys like that are like 2 per team.
Mm-hmm.
It's like look at the talent that baseball has come from. I mean, it's
so many good hitters now.
There's so many like superstars in the making right now. It's sick.
Yeah. How about Acuna this year, dude? He's been ridiculous.
Oh, yeah,
it's like some of these guys get hurt and people forget about them, and then they come back and they're just the same beast they were before.
Yeah, and he's gonna go 40-40. Whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Crazy.
Yeah, like Atlanta was really good last year. Oh, and then they get Acuna back.
Wasn't because of Orlando Arcia, I'll tell you that much.
Exactly. They did.
All right. Speaking of Acuna, look at him. He's at number 1.
Yeah.
Freeman's doing great too. I didn't realize.
Look at Corbin Carroll. I didn't realize he was doing that great.
Well, he's made a lot of progress.
6th best hitter.
Wander Franco up there too. I think this is the beginning of the Wander Franco years.
Yeah.
I got a $20 bet on him winning MVP.
Really?
Yeah.
With who?
Online sports bet.
All right. Well, fucking A. What was the odds?
20-1, I think. So yeah, $400.
Oh shit! Yeah, fuck yeah.
I got in early. So when Tampa Wet Bay won like their first 10 games or whatever, I'm like, if they win the pennant, they're gonna maybe choose someone from them, and he'll be their best player.
You should have put like 20 grand on
it. Yeah, I put $10 on the Rosarena and 20 on Franco. So
good for you.
Well, it's some. I make such minimal sports bets.
Solid.
I like making a sports bet for the end of the year, and then it's something I can root for the whole year.
There you go. It's like when you do it every day. Oh, dude, watch out for that.
I do not like betting on individual games. It ruins the game for me. I can watch a baseball, I watch basketball, but if I bet on the game, I get bummed out. And it's true.
I've never done it.
Not a good loser. Not good at that. I mean,
I haven't started
like
with
picking up relief pitchers.
Yeah, exactly. That's like teaches me. I'm like, fuck this. If I had money involved, I'd be furious. So yeah.
Yeah, I
learned really quick.
To figure out the odds, it would take me some time to figure that out. Like a weekly football game, that's great because you got all week to pick what your best bet would be or something like that. I don't do this. This is all in theory for me. I have not used any of those online.
But you follow the Mets, and the Mets are doing well against say a certain Florida pitcher, and you could go on and play the online fantasy that day where I picked 3 players and this guy picks 3 players, and which ones hit the Florida Marlins really well.
I've seen some of the odds though. They're like baking in like a 20% vig, I think, and like they're straight bets.
Really?
I know they push they push the same game parlays too.
Yeah, because you're gonna lose.
There's 2 things I don't like about that. One is like when you're doing a parlay, you don't want to limit yourself at all. You want to pick from as wide like I wouldn't, if I was going to do it, I wouldn't bet on Thursday. I would bet on Tuesday or Wednesday, like when they have a full slate of games.
Yep.
So that's one thing I don't like about the same game parlay. And the other is that I remember looking at parlay cards, from like a bookie back in the 90s, and those parlays, if you understand the powers of 2, those parlays were just such a ripoff. And that was like the bookie's favorite. That was the bookie's favorite thing, was to get people in the parlays. Like for instance, if you pick a 4-game parlay with the bookie back then, it's a 1 out of 16 chance if you have a 50% chance each game, but they're going to give you 10 times your money. And and the odds get even worse
as high as it goes.
As you go higher. If you go to a 5-game parlay, you have a 1 in 32 shot theoretically of getting it, and they're going to pay you 15 times your money. So they keep going up by from 4 to 5, they'll add 5 more to it. If you go from 5 to 6, they'll add 6 to it, even though the odds went up double. The 6 games, right? You have a 1 in 64 chance, and they're going to give you 21 times your money. So that's 30 cents in the dollar. So the parlay, I haven't seen what these odds are with the parlays. It's very complicated because they're not all 50-50 propositions.
Yeah,
it's so complicated. There's no way I could ever do it with any confidence unless I sat down, and this is my full-time job now, betting on.
Did any of you guys realize that Platinum Sombreros have Acuna and Corbin Carroll in the first 8?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. He's got good hitters, dude.
Man.
And he's got Rushman too.
Jordan Walker coming up now too, right?
Yeah.
Now he's back.
So Spears got what? Freeman? Is that the only one they have up here? Gags have Semien, Cows have Betts, and Bo Bichette.
Pew pew pew.
Let's Play has Jonathan India. He's popped up now. And Shohei, of course. What do you got? Satch has Matt Olson. Has everybody else dropped off? No. And Jordan was on the 10-day IL. Is he going to be out just a quick time or?
Well, here
I haven't heard
yet.
That
little right above the IL-10. Click on that. It'll tell us.
I think it's gonna go over where I can see you guys.
No. Let's just share the screen. Okay, there we go. Scroll down.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Still up in the air a little bit. Not
He's
good.
a big guy with an oblique. That could be anything.
Yeah. That's not good news for Satch.
Oblique my deek.
Dads have just Adolis now. I guess Pete's dropped off with his injury.
Yeah, he did big time. I mean, he's out of the fucking he was up at 8. And now he's what? If you scroll down, he's probably 17 to 24. I have to imagine.
Oh, he's just below. Yeah, it's just below.
There we go. 18.
Soto. Here's your Soto. Judge. Castellanos.
Castellanos got himself moving up.
Really? Good for him.
Look at him. 23. Nathaniel Lowe right there behind him.
I didn't retain him. Castellanos.
Fucking Soler. Remember, Jeff and I were talking about Soler as we
I have a Cubs Soler jersey in my closet.
I haven't mentioned it to you. I was like, Soler's out there. You're like, I'm done with it. I'm like, I get it.
He always gets hurt on me. Yeah. Eloy's hurt again.
And then he had 19 overs.
We should find a ride.
There should be a song called Eloy's Hurt Again.
Is that
I'm looking for a rise.
It's like Jamie's got a gun.
A rise is 197 or 198, I think. He's right around just under 200.
Really? You mean he'd be pages and pages down?
No, he's 197 points.
Oh,
I thought he was there. But then I don't see him here. That's weird.
Where is he?
Move it down a little bit. Maybe he's a little bit less than that.
All right, he's got to be top one on this page. It's got to be.
It was like this before. And then when I listed it under, instead of all batters, I put him under second base. He popped up at 198.
There he is, right there.
There you go.
190.
190, sorry. Yeah, I mean, George Springer has sucked this year for me. He's been pretty poopy.
So he's almost hitting 400. He's 79.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. He's got 2 less points than George Springer, who sucks.
Yeah, but you know what? It's I still wanted to keep him this year.
Exactly.
You guys paid $20 for that motherfucker. I'm like, I was already money. I'm out of money.
How much did Arias go for this year?
20 something.
Oh.
Well, did he? Oh, I didn't know that.
I paid 50 for Springer.
Bullshit.
Well, I grabbed him off of Bizzati for 50.
You snagged him off Bizzati during the waiver period, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the beer league point system, by the way, coming from the guy that came up with the system, is certainly, I'm not going to defend it as being the perfect assessment of players. I mean, it's not like runs created or something like that.
It's an assessment. It's the way I look. Yeah. I mean, there's Luis Arias has a value to the Florida Marlins, to the Miami Marlins. But then it's nice to see like what his value is to beer league. That's just how I like to look at him, you know.
But you know,
project that onto him.
When I look
at Larry Poe of 2023.
When I look at how players are valued in rotisserie, I don't feel like I need to apologize for the beer league point system because it's
exactly
it's so crazy.
I imagine at beer league we'd be like, Pete Rose sucks, dude. He doesn't do shit. He scores runs, but bench is driving them in.
But I want everybody to know that it's not a perfect system. Obviously, I mean, there's a lot of constraints with it, right? We want to keep it to whole numbers, and you know, it's.
No one needs perfection. No one wants perfection. Baseball ain't perfection, man. Yeah, it's good enough, and I like it.
I wonder if there's a way on Yahoo. It's like if you got a 10-game inning streak or a hitting streak for 10 games, you get an extra like 3 points.
There's nothing like that. They have all the if you go to create a league in Yahoo, you'll see all the stats that are available.
Yeah, but there's nothing like for a. I don't know. You could do some. Can you do something for like a shutout, like a complete game shutout?
You could.
Points?
That would be cool.
Yeah, I mean,
that would be cool.
I was thinking that we could do that because
pitchers do that so rarely.
You know, if the guy comes in and gets a save, he gets points. So you could say like a complete game should
be another 7
you
points.
Can make it to where it's like, okay, you can make it to where it's 50 points for a fucking no hitter. Complete game shutout, no hitter.
I don't like.
Just by adding fucking like a big bomb at the end.
I don't like that. I don't know. I just,
why?
Because
it's such a fucking it's like so out of left field.
If your pitcher pitches a no hitter, you're gonna be happy. You know what I mean? Because I mean, like,
fine, but you know what?
No run.
There should be a little boost for you. Just like, you know what? It's like winning the lotto. You know what I mean?
It also just there's certain pitchers who are more likely to pitch, you know, a complete game, who have a history of pitching a complete game, and it would give those pitchers a little more value.
Right.
But you know, that would be.
But I mean, if you want to point it up for a no hitter, that's kind of cool.
You'd have a whole extra column here that would say like no hitter,
and it'd be
a bunch of zeros for everybody. I definitely don't like the no hitter idea, but the complete game makes some sense to me because we're giving points to the save. Of course, we're talking a very, you know, how many complete games is the guy going to throw, you know. But
think about you're saving points for your bullpen, you know.
If the guy throws a complete game, I say give him an extra 5 points.
Yeah. Or 4 for the save, right? So
yeah, exactly. And you're getting points for the innings already, so yeah.
The only other thing I want to make sure is like we have so many stats here now. I want to make sure that it would all fit on one page. But I can test that out next next spring or no, I could create a fake league and test it out. You can create a league until end of June, I think.
Yeah. Nice.
I'm going to let the dog out real quick. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
Very good.
So we don't even have to ask who let the dog out because it's Jeff.
No, don't do that.
Well, we can go over pitching without Jeff, right?
If you compare this, let's see, what's a pitcher that's around 190 points, and see what Arise balances to what kind of pitcher, value-wise, beer league point-wise.
Yeah, just beer league point-wise.
There we go. Zach
Eflin.
Yeah.
Bryce Elder.
But that's like the 25th ranked pitcher, or no? It's what, 20th or so?
But these guys would be more valuable than him because the cutoff for pitchers is
exactly.
I'm pretty sure it's lower than it is for hitters.
Oh yeah.
I'm not 100% sure of that. It might be relatively close, but anyways, that's another thing to think about.
Yeah, whatever. That's a different ball of wax.
I thought what John Kimmler said last week was on point because if you looked at the hitters that we had up in that, the top page there, none of those guys were going to sneak through in the auction and go for $1, right? None.
Pitchers will. Yeah.
They were all, they were all going to go for at least a decent amount of money. And you look at these pitchers, there's guys here that went for $1.
Yep.
And not just one. I mean, like several. So the pitching, it is something to.
It's somewhere where you can pick up a lot of value for and save yourself a lot of dollars for the auction.
We've always we've
mess it up too.
We've moved that way in the league and our spending habits. You know, what do they say? I think in most rotisserie leagues, they'll set up like a 65-35 split with hitting and pitching.
60-40 or 65.
Sometimes 70-30 even, but you know, we're like 75 to 80 to, you know,
this
20
year
to 25.
especially too. This year was the first time that it really went over, right?
It was like, I think this year the league, I think we were 79-21, which is really high compared to what you would see in a rotisserie league.
I mean, it is, especially if you just take the ones who are, if we just put, is that all the salaries or is that just what we spent in the auction?
Just what we spent in the auction.
Awesome. Yeah.
The amounts over $1.
Gotcha.
So like I spent $1 on my pitching, you know, over the minimum.
I think there was only one pitch. Or what was the highest pitcher? I know I paid 24 for B.E.E.R, and that might have been the most that a pitcher went for. Someone else went for 24. Maybe who else? I forget who was bid on this year. There was one big time pitcher, maybe.
Even the way that I look at pitching, that it was probably, I think those guys should have gone for more.
Yep.
You know, but
that's why I altered my buying habits in the auction. You know, when you see the B.E.E.R's only going for 24, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna hop on him. You know, I got Alcantara for 20. I was all pumped.
But it's a real minefield this year because if you had spent money on pitching, you definitely are going to be disappointed by somebody.
Yep.
You know, if not more than one guy.
That was part of the reason I made that trade for Tucker. Is just I wanted to get something for Alcantara if he went south. You know, like Manoah was doing. So, yeah.
I know he had a good start. He had a good start his last start.
Yep, and he won 8 or 9 innings. I think he was great.
Yeah, but that made no sense. His bad start just made no sense. I don't mind like in April you have a couple of bets, but like it was going on for longer than you could have thought possible. You know,
a lot of I remember seeing 3 of those Manoah starts in a row where he went. I think the one against the Cubs, he went 7 innings shutout. And then they brought him. Schumacher brings him out in the 8th with a lead, and he gives up 2 runs without any outs, without recording out. Then it happened like 2 of the next 3 starts where he goes like 6 or 7 innings, and then they bring him out and he, Jesus Christ, work some sort of bullpen and stop sending this guy out. I mean, to pitch 230 innings again this year. So I don't know. Maybe Schumacher's learning how to work a bullpen. So
we're not privy to knowing, you know, if somebody's hurt actually. But that's the real danger because if you give me a guy with a track record and he's off to a bad start, I'm going to tell you that he's going to turn it around, right? Because that's that's what the smart thing says. But if it's a pitcher and there's this underlying thing, and then you learn about it when he goes on the IL in the middle of the year or something like that, you know, that sucks because you were waiting around based on his track record, and it wasn't going to happen because he wasn't healthy, you know. But they are obviously, you know, cagey with that kind of stuff. I mean, you know, for good reason. But you know, so they don't really. I think you know the fantasy player is pretty far down their list of priorities, right? So.
That's what needs to be changed.
Look at the pitchers.
Yeah, I brought it up. I was just talking about how Kimmler had said that, you know, that hitter list that we looked at, all those guys went for, you know, at least a decent amount of money. There was no $1 guys there. And this one is littered with $1 guys. I don't know offhand, but, you know.
Clayton Kershaw, yeah. Look at Kershaw's doing amazing. Look at that.
I remember Stroman's number 3 on here now.
Wow. Oh, yeah, he did jump.
Norm paid more for Walker Buehler at the auction than he did for Clayton Kershaw. He's like, I can't believe I had to pay more for Buehler.
And give Doug credit. I mean, like McClanahan was a very important match for him. And he's not disappointing, you know. So
he's the best pitcher by far. Stroman's been great this year. I've been watching a lot of his starts. He pitches really well.
Okay, I was at Framber, Mitch Keller, who hasn't really dropped. He dropped for a bit.
Yeah.
He's back up.
Pittsburgh's starting to fall a little bit, though. They're coming back to earth.
Pirates?
Yeah, record-wise.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Mets just played them, and I think the Mets lost 2 out of 3 to them. But the Pirates, they're not there yet, you know. But
Pirates lost 2 out of 3 to Oakland.
Yeah. Oh, it's disgusting. The Mets are disgusting.
Can you believe I got Kyle Gibson off the waiver wire?
Yep, I had him for a start. I think with he's been
I had him in the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm.
That was a tough decision for me because he was doing well, and that doesn't seem like a smart thing to do, is to drop somebody who's doing well, right? But when these other guys became available, I think Evaldi was one of them. I picked him up. But Evaldi
it's worked out. Man.
Evaldi worked out great, but I also picked up Jameson Tyon and Tyler Anderson, who's pitching tonight and probably getting rocked in Texas as we speak. But so I don't know. It's a crapshoot. But if somebody has a track record, and I think they're better than the guy I have, I will make that change. And I don't know if it doesn't work out a ton of times, then I have to revisit that methodology, right?
See, I'll look at matchups more than anything. Who the guy's pitching the next couple times, what his record is against those guys, how those teams are faring. If a guy's going to be pitching against I don't know, Oakland A's for 2 of his next 3 starts, and knockers are going to grab him, and we're going to ride him out for the next 3 weeks and hope he doesn't blow his arm out, and maybe one of our other guys will. I mean, I'm just basically waiting for those pitchers to get hurt. I don't expect many of them to last.
No. Well, I'll mention Zach Gallen for the Daddies because he's on here, and newly acquired Kyle Gibson.
Zach Gallen got a track history now, man. That guy's been good for, 3-4 years now?
He had a bad start last start, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Still top 10 in the league, though.
And Garrett Cole is still up in the top.
One of those guys I scouted
5 here
in person.
Mm-hmm.
Hex, Garrett Cole is still top 5. All right, we'll mention a knocker, right? Got Joe Ryan.
Yeah, he's got the flow.
Man, the Twins have to be ecstatic, because their staff was looking pretty thin start the year. I don't think it's the deepest now either, but
Sonny Gray and him, yeah.
Joe Ryan and Sonny Gray help. I guess Gray's not on here, but
and that team's still 500.
Yeah, in the AL Central, NL Central, that means first place, baby. No.
Yeah, both sides. It is first place for the AL Central. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I really expect Minnesota to get it together.
John Gray doing good things for Bizzotti and the Rangers. Rockies didn't want to pay him. And Let's Play's got Bassett and Gaussman back to back here. Exactly 205. Bassett did it in 13 starts. Knocker's got Bieber. So you had another one too, right? Joe Ryan and Bieber?
Yep.
Christian Javier for Sats. He's dropped a little bit, but still up in the top 15 pitchers.
The Astros pitching isn't as dominant this year, is it? I know McCullers is slated for another MRI. Nothing new there.
Let's see. I'm trying to sort this sort it by saves. John Kimmler complained that we never talk about relievers. I just wanted we'll bring up the saves guys here. Class A and Romano, he's got the top 2. No wonder he wants us to talk about
yeah, exactly.
relievers. Not the most points, though, but Felix Bautista looks like these guys has the most points.
They're not ranked by points right now, I don't think.
Yeah, it's just by saves.
Okay, gotcha. Thanks.
So let's see. So no knockers on here, as I guess you.
Oh God, no, you're not gonna find
Daddy said Carlos Estevez, who was a good early pickup. Kyle Finnegan. I'm surprised there wasn't a big bidding war in the auction for Finnegan, since everybody wants to closer for the Nationals, for God's sake. So
I take him now.
He's where he's at.
Yeah.
But all right, enough of that. What are you eating, Jeff?
I'm down there.
Pierce Johnson just lost his job.
I want to be supportive of mental health issues, and all, obviously, in my own family and everything. But when I hear about a closer that is having anxiety issues, it's really not a big selling point for me. So Bard didn't start the year because of anxiety issues, and then Trevor May also went on the IL with that. And
really?
I actually picked up May a few weeks ago because I forgot about the anxieties. Obviously the A's closer is not really a priority anyway, but one with anxiety issues, I'm probably going to skip. I'm going to skip that opportunity. So, but all right, had enough of this.
Yeah, Cubs need a closer. Sox need a closer now too, right? Jesus Christ.
Is Hendricks? Is it bad? What is elbow inflammation?
Or? He's usually really optimistic about stuff and positive, and they said he also admitted that he's been pitching with a torn ulnar nerve last year, so he's had a tear in that thing for a while. And I guess,
man,
I mean, if you think he went through chemotherapy, for Christ's sake, it's bad enough on the body. Who knows what it does to other parts of him? So he ramped up pretty quick and came back 30 pitches in the first game back too. So.
The manager for the
I like that guy.
for the Pirates on Friday, first game of that series, Mets Pirates. They're up 14-2 in the 9th inning, 2 outs.
Brings Bednar in,
and he brings Bednar in to just get him some work. Okay, I understand he hadn't pitched in 5 days, but this is the first game of a 3-game series against the Mets. Wouldn't you want to save him for a possible save opportunity the next day? Well, he brings Bednar in. And he allows like 2 or 3 earned runs. One of them,
it's always unavailable.
Was a fly ball to the right fielder, and he lost it in the lights. Like he went.
Oh Jesus!
And at first they gave him an error, which was good for me because like Bednar just had the 1-point outing, but then they switched it and they had like a -5, so it must have been 2 earned runs that he allowed. But so he ends up throwing I think he threw 30 pitches.
Oh my God!
So he wasn't even available. Certainly not the next day, and not even Sunday. And the other games, well, they were sort of tight. One was a 1-run game, and the other was 5-1, I think. But
the Pirates shouldn't be going into that final 2 games thinking they don't need their closer. So I mean, that's a terrible.
It's weird. I mean, to get him some work. I mean, and plus, there's that whole thing where you have like a closer. He's got the mentality like the game's on the line.
Yeah,
this is totally different. It's 14-2. It's like it's just as a. I thought
give him some work in the bullpen, dude.
It was a real shitty decision. I suppose if he had come in and induced a grounder the first pitch, then I would have been like, well, I guess he knows what he's doing. But so the results are kind of tainting
the risk wasn't worth the reward, though. I mean, it's a stupid risk.
It was stupid, and it makes when I see that, it makes me wonder, like, does this guy know what he's doing? Like, like maybe when the Pirates are truly good, which might be soon, is Shelton the guy to manage them? That sure looked dumb to me. I don't know.
I hope the Pirates are good soon because I've always liked them, but I'm skeptical again. I mean, they could have been good in these last 15 years if they decided to hold on to, Musgrove and Cole and hell. I mean, some of these guys they've developed.
I mean, Cabrian at third looks like he's okay this year. He's hitting better.
They got rid of Josh Bell too. I mean, they have no intentions of keeping their players,
But that O'Neal Cruz is important.
They'll have him for 4 years, and
very
gonna want some money. Yeah,
very toolsy. But you wonder if he's going to be like a top tier player because he's got a young approach or whatever they would say. That means a guy that just isn't disciplined at the plate, basically.
Yeah. But they did sign Brian Reynolds that $100 million deal, right? But do you think he's going to stay there for 7 years? Do you think he'll stay there for the full year?
I guess so. I mean, he's a good player. I don't think that he's on my team, but I don't think he's like some top tier player.
Does he have an opt out?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. But I mean, he has value even at $15 million a year.
Sure,
for a player like that, that's great value.
I was reading about their catching prospect Henry Davis, I think his name is. And the last thing I read was like now they're starting
number 1 overall.
He's not really going to be a catcher.
Yep.
And that changes everything. So now he's like this. Like maybe he'll come up and be like an average first baseman or maybe a mediocre first baseman. But if he was a catcher, he'd be good, right? And you don't have to do too much.
They have a history. They've been doing that with some of the other guys. Because I have another prospect of theirs called Endy Rodriguez, who's another catching prospect. But they wanted to get his. They were worried about Davis and getting his bat out there, so they have him start playing second base and outfield too.
Huh.
So, could it be part of just maybe saving your knees when you're young and just getting your bat in there the whole time so that you're not catching the whole time? I don't know.
But I think they need today, especially today. I mean, they need those catchers with experience before they come up.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I thought that was depressing to read that Henry Davis was not maybe a catching prospect anymore. I could have read that wrong, and maybe I'm overstating it, but that's
remember Joey Bart was going to be the next Buster Posey. He was like a great hitter out of North Carolina. And
Joey Bart
just sent him back down.
Yeah. Joey Bart fan?
Right on cue.
So do you want to talk about anything in particular, Chris? Your floor is yours.
Not a whole lot. I haven't been watching a whole lot of baseball this last week, at least. Been really tied up. My Christopher Morel was very exciting about that. That was also part of the De La Cruz trade that I made. Was I already had Tatis at shortstop. I got Morel. I got some people tied up in middle infield. I got that Edward Julian, who I really like at second base. I got some other guys coming up. So I'm like, I could get rid of him. Part of me wants the trade to turn out well, too, because when you're trading prospect, I mean, I have the history of trading prospects and getting the bigger guys back, and I always like doing that, but part of me feels bad when the guys don't turn out well. So, you want the things to turn out good, and you trade Gunnar Henderson and L.A. De La Cruz, you see him start hitting, you're like, all right, good. I wasn't going to have room for him or play him anyways, I would have drove me crazy seeing those points on the bench. I'm glad I got something for him.
They said Gunnar Henderson throws the hardest to first base of anybody in the league right now.
Yep. I think he's going to be really good. It's a rookie. Just give him a couple months to settle in. He just hit a huge mammoth homer this week.
If you think about it, once you trade a player, there's no reason to root against him. I mean, like, if anything, you should root for him because then that guy's going to that guy will make a trade with you again in the future.
Exactly.
If you get if it ends up being a terrible deal, he's going to remember that.
Exactly, and not want to deal with you next time. So
look at it real suspiciously, like, oh yeah, last time Chris traded me this hot prospect, he sucked.
Yeah, he said he was really good, and then he was going to suck. I dropped him. So.
As long as the trade makes sense to me at the time, and I have a policy where even if it's break even, like I don't care if I do the deal or not. If it's at least break even, I'll do it because I want to. If somebody went to all the trouble of making me an offer and I don't hate it, I'll do it. But I think there's no reason to root against him. I guess you could be like, well, geez, I shouldn't have done that. So if he's doing bad, then I don't have to, regret it. But it's actually
I'm the same. I root for the guys to do well so I can make another deal for them
to do well because. All right, even if you got taken on a trade, or maybe it was just an even trade, But like you're saying, it made sense for you because of how your roster was set up.
A roster crunch.
Yeah. So I think I don't think any of us. Well, I hope not. Anyway, go into the deal to screw the other guy. You're just trying to make your team better.
Well, it's a strategy game. I wouldn't feel bad if when someone screws me out of the trade. I don't feel angry at them. I just beat myself up for making a dumb move. But I find trading with you very easy because it's like you make an offer, and if I like it, I go, okay, And if I don't like an offer, which happens most of the time, not for you in particular, but I mean, exactly,
I turn down well over half the trade.
I can attest to that.
Yeah, me too. I turned a lot of trades down too, but I try and be polite or say what else, or I was looking at this. No thanks, whatever. I think Jeff and I had a couple trades maybe 15 years ago. Was it? I want to say it was back-to-back years, maybe when I traded Wright to you for Jeter, and then you traded Jeter to me for Wright or something. Was that possible? Like 2 or 3 years.
I don't think I ever had Jeter.
I don't
think I ever had Jeter.
Yeah, we had a David Wright. And I was also thinking about what was it? The 3-way Goldschmidt, Hosmer, and who was the third guy involved in that? It was you, Doug, someone else. Was it you, Lou?
No. It was Doug.
I traded Goldschmidt last year.
Yeah, this one was maybe 10 years ago.
It was Doug Norm.
Mm-hmm.
It was Goldschmidt, Adrian Gonzalez.
There you go.
And somebody
and
else.
Hosmer. And everyone rotated first baseman, right?
No, I lost everything in that one.
You wind up with Hosmer?
No, what I did was I ended up with Adrian Gonzalez. He had a terrible year the year before. It was $50 and I left him unprotected and they stole him back.
Oh, boo!
Yeah, that was Norm. I wouldn't trade with Norm for a couple of years.
No, the cows.
There's penalties for shit like that.
The clouds of smoke coming from the THC boardroom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one was a fucking dick in the butt.
But, yeah, it seems. I think it's going to be a pretty slow year in Chicago baseball. You know, last time I was on, both teams looked like they might have some things to do, and now I think both teams are poopy. It'll be a long year of Chicago baseball.
I think the beer league is setting up to be a pretty good year. You know,
I think it's going to be a good race.
You know, like maybe half a dozen teams will be,
here's the thing.
In it in September, you know.
Anybody in the bottom of the race right now, if they have 3 good weeks, they're back in it.
Yep. Mm-hmm. No one's fallen too far behind yet, and there's still a lot of middle of pack teams. So no one's pulled away. Well, Phil's team is really good, so I'm not going to say he hasn't pulled away, and Lou's team is really good. But they're still within reach.
Yeah, but if you looked at, the teams at the top in the recent records are they're not pulling away; they're coming back.
Yeah.
So it's nice when you have some teams in the middle, some teams in the bottom getting hot and coming back. So it's setting up pretty nice. I mean, that's what you want. You want more teams closer together. So we've had a lot of years where there's just like one team that just
runs away with
it. It's not always the same guy. It's not always.
You almost did that this year. We caught up with you. Some people caught up with you a little bit. Just a little bit.
Well, I think you got to get into June before you can really, if you have 10 losses and it's June 1st, then yeah, that's something. But April,
I think the first year I won it, it was like I started out 6-0 and went 6-0 like 3 weeks in a row off the bat, or fucking
never looked back.
It was like ridiculous. It's like I got such a jump start on everybody else. It was so hard to catch up.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you get one of those starts, it's so beneficial. I mean, fuck.
Well, I think I thought about the knockers this year. If you were going to get Tatis back after the start of the year, and then Harper, and he came back even quicker than we thought, then I would have thought you're looking pretty good, So
I would have expected to do better in May than April, but I was a game worse. Yeah,
but it's not your hitting, it's the pitching. So the pitching, you would have at least expected. You would have at least expected you're going to be like middle of the pack in pitching, and that's what's really been the difference.
It's all. I was middle of the pack in April, and I was 500 team. Then this last 4 weeks have just taken such a dive.
But you're one of those teams. Changes. You're like 10 or 11 back, and obviously that's really nothing. With our 6-0 format, and you just have to start to get hot. Like Hack is, it's not a lost cause, but he's got to start getting hot.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. You get a couple bad luck weeks, where you get 0-6 2 weeks in a row, and the next thing you know, you're 12 wins down. I mean, fuck.
I think that's what he did, right? Wasn't he like he was like 500, and I think he went 0-12.
Yeah, It's been terrible for him.
And that'll do it. 2 bad weeks can nail you. But the thing with with having 1 6-0 and 1 5-1, it makes it so that you can catch up even faster this year. You know, if you and another team that's not in the top are the top two teams for 2 weeks in a row, it's going to upend the standings. I mean, in the past we've had, you know, a 6-0 and 2 5-1s. Just having that 1 5-1 really changes it this year, I think.
Yeah, I guess that's a different way to look at it. I was thinking that it was going to hurt your ability to catch up, but you're saying the old way, there was, if a guy went 6-0, there's two guys that are just going to lose a game to him. Now it's like one, and if you're in that third place, but you're losing 2 games. So yeah, I guess
exactly. There's a greater flux, and it's just that, you know, it goes 6-5 4-4, so you can be the third place team and lose 2 games. You know, so it just makes. I've noticed it's having the 3-3-3 teams is making it so I'm not stressing about. I'm like, yeah, I'm not used to being in this position, but I'm like, I think there's still going to be a lot of room for teams to fly up and down this year. It's going to be interesting.
So here's the question: is if Dave Clark doesn't come back, do we just keep it this way?
I think we keep it this way if we can't find somebody that wants to be in the league that would be good in the league, you know.
Wait, how hard do we actively look?
I think we should have an entrance fee like the MLB, maybe before expansion fees.
Like $1,000?
We can start with that. I mean,
so it's 11 then next year.
The rest of the way.
So it's 11 then.
An $80 bonus. Their league fees get paid for.
Well, you had some guys that you talked to late that could have done it under different circumstances, I thought, right? Wasn't there?
My brother Steve could probably get involved, to be honest with you.
Yeah, so we'll keep. I mean, we don't have to go to 12, but I would like to go to 12 if we can go to 12.
The only problem with my brother Steve is that every time we do the draft, he's got like this Gary Con fucking like Dungeons and Dragons chick going on up in Wisconsin. And now Cameron's been going with him.
So we'll see.
And I can't knock it. They love it. Fucking good for you.
Have you talked?
I don't understand it, but
have you actually talked with DC? Is it just, you know?
I haven't seen DC since his surgery, to be honest with you.
Yeah, me too.
So either way, I mean, either any of us can find somebody who wants to be in it and would be good.
I mean, next time I cross paths with him, I'll definitely bring it up and see if he's interested in coming back. But I mean, if he's not, I mean, do we keep it the way it is for a while? Yep. I'm fine
comfortable
with it.
Either way.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'd like to go to 12 if we can, but it's not like if we can't, we can't. You know, so you know, what are you going to
do? The way of the world with the pitching situation where half the pitchers suck. It'd be even worse if we had 12 teams right now. I don't know. My pitchers have fucking been sucking. Oh my god. Dylan Cease, what the fuck happened to you?
He was good for the first 4 weeks.
I know. And then just fucking shit the bed. God damn.
I don't know what's going on with White Sox. Those last 2 games,
I think they're not used
to awful.
Well, it's the after effect of La Russa and Pedro Grifol trying to come in. Maybe Pedro Grifol is coming in too hard. I don't know.
I don't know if he knows he didn't. Wasn't it the last thing? Is he didn't even have the third baseman guarding the line with a 2-run lead, right? 2 guys on this last game, and then allowed it to double down the line, which the 2-run scored. You're like, what the hell?
Well,
learning on the job.
Yeah, sounds like a rookie manager, like a cheap Reinsdorf move.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Derek Shelton for the Pirates also, he brought in a lefty to face Nemo late in the game. He got Nemo out, but the announcers are saying, like, you know, Nemo's hitting 358 against lefties this year. So, like, you know, you can't just have the lefty thing in your mind. You know, like you don't need to do that. You know, and that, especially with, you know, in that case, you know, I don't think Nemo cares who, you know, if you're righty or lefty. I don't think it really. I'm sure maybe historically he's done better against righties, but not this year. You know, so.
I'm surprised that Pittsburgh hasn't gone more of a Moneyball way, or just kind of finding someone with a more out of the box approach, to play with their small budget and play them. Or maybe they're just worried about, making their money. I don't know anything about their ownership.
Hey, how long do you think it takes before they do a Finding Nemo campaign?
At least the t-shirts.
Yeah. Paint him up like a clownfish. Have him run around the bases. When he's in Atlanta, he can race the Flash. The Freeze, or what the fuck is his name?
Yeah, the Freeze.
Where is that? What stadium does that? Is that Washington?
Atlanta.
That's Atlanta. Beat the Freeze.
Okay. Yeah.
That motherfucker's fast as shit.
It's just an
these drunk
promotion.
assholes just fucking like, yeah, they start pimp walking to the fucking goal line. And this motherfucker goes,
The one guy you saw at the famous clip, like he's like celebrating because he's going to beat him, and then he sees him out of the corner of his eye, and then he just belly flop.
Fucking idiots.
I don't even know if I could run along the warning track from left to right field. I mean, I could jog.
I would have a fucking heart attack at the 465 foot line. No, 365 foot line.
Right in front of the chop shop.
Yeah.
I would tell the crews, look,
right by that spot where you get those sausages.
You may as well wait till I get to like the right field alley before you start. Okay, believe me, you'll still win.
Exactly.
Well, the whole reason why the Cubs put the fences, the little nets on the home run fucking area.
Drunk
kept the drunks from falling on the field.
Yeah,
that is a true story. When I got that thing from work where I was out there hitting baseballs on Wrigley Field, and I swear to God, when you walk onto that field and you're shagging fly balls, it's like you're fucking running across like a really small, like really tight shag rug.
It's awesome, isn't it?
So fucking sick. It's like, how the fuck do you get like a bad hop off this shit ever? I mean, there's no way. So I got this thing through work. We did that, and I got maybe 10 feet. I hit the warning track on one left-handed, and that's about the best I did. Right-handed, I chucked it into the stands, kind of right by the Bartman seats. So that's the best I did.
That's impressive.
Yeah. No. No. So anyway, we did this tour, and yeah, fucking interesting shit. What the fuck was I talking about?
Hitting the ball. Yeah. Nolan Jones in that ball into the fucking right field gap.
Yeah, that guy's a motherfucker,
Nah, I got lucky. Well, he's hot for a week, as was Chris Morel, and then they don't do anything. Well, try and keep him going for the week.
If you look at the
oh no, okay, I totally forgot what the fuck I was going with that, but now I remember. So the baskets for the fucking outfield,
the drunks.
So there's a fucking wall. When the wall is like made like to where it's like a fucking steeple like this. Before it was flat. So in the 70s, these fucking idiots would fucking go from one foul pole, another one would be at the other foul pole, and they'd race to the middle and see who can get there first. And they kept falling into the fucking field. So they installed those fucking like baskets to keep the fucking idiots from falling into the field. That's why those are there. And they have shagged one too many of a non-home run ball for us and for everybody else ever since. So that was my history lesson on that.
Nice.
Jesus Christ, when you're high, you can't fucking sometimes keep your thought, but I got it back. We're good. That was the story I came up with in the first place.
My little thought was that when you watch footage from the like 60s, 70s, the fields are, I'm sure they were trying their best to keep manicured, but they're they're not fancy like they are now.
Exactly.
You know, like
Oh,
the outfield
absolutely
grass
not.
cut in
No, they were like
is,
a fucking front yard of a house that was kept great, you know.
That was back when it was a pastime. Before it was a business.
There was like dirt on the grass and patchy grass and like it was kind of like kept as well as like we would keep a field if we had a field.
Let's
like,
put it this way:
Chris, you're gonna mow the
baseball
lawn on
fields.
Thursday, okay?
Yeah.
Baseball fields used to be the rough in golf. Now they're the fairways.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Now they're the green.
I wouldn't say the green, but it's fairway. Yeah.
It was about 25 years ago they started cutting the outfield fancy, like doing the perpendicular
every
line,
game.
so it makes a pattern.
Used to be like something special, the 4th of July game you get that, but now it's every night.
Yeah. To be honest with you, when you're out there, it almost seems like it's a natural fucking AstroTurf now.
Mm-hmm. So what are the fields? There's only 2 with AstroTurf now? Toronto and Tampa?
Yeah.
Yep.
Miami's got grass.
Yep.
Wait a minute. Does Minute Maid Park have grass?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What's Minute Maid? Is that Houston?
That's Houston, yeah.
Enron. That's somebody fucking who knows what it's called now, right? Yeah.
Fucking the ass park.
Boy, Reinsdorf doesn't really care what the name of the park is, right? He'll name it anything. What was that one?
Of course. They're all just like
rate
that.
Field or
yep.
something.
Guaranteed rate field.
With a huge arrow pointing down.
Can you make it sound a little baseball-y? Come on.
The United Center was the first one that I was pretty impressed with. I thought that was like cleverly named. You got United in there, but you might not know that it's corporate influenced. Like, you can get away with United Center, sure.
City card with the Mets, City Field. That's
right. Exactly. That kind. It's in the city. Yeah, I can rationalize that and make
city spelled with an I. Okay.
Oh, that's clever. Yeah, it's urban. Yeah. All right.
Chris Larkin, what do you think about the Blackhawks getting Connor Bedard first overall?
As I texted you, I said I hope they don't rape him. Fuck those Blackhawks, man.
One more point on the field.
They're assholes, dude.
If
I'm excited to watch him play.
If Anusol or Vagisil ponied up like the $50 million, would they name the White Sox park, Vagisil Park? I mean, like,
I think they would call themselves
it's
Dick
only about
Ebersol.
money. I mean,
you saw everyone went with the crypto. The Miami Heat were playing in FTX Arena. They're in the finals, but they renamed it Kaseya Center like 2 months ago.
Yeah,
they were the FTX Center for like a month after it crashed. Because they had given them the name and we had the contract. What the fuck were we supposed to do here?
If these guys ain't got no more money.
I listened to a podcast with Bomani Jones, and he's like, anytime you see the first thing that you should look for, if anything you're investing in is into naming rights on something, bail on it. Naming rights is the first awful place people go to launder their money. That's where they're just doing bad investments.
They fucking paid as much money to build half of the goddamn stadium.
They say they just use it to like build legitimacy. It's because it gives you a name that's going to be repeated and repeated among those places. And hey, like Yankee Stadium and Kaseya Center, yeah, they're all the same, right? You get some legitimacy being mentioned in the same breath. So
we're talking about the patches on uniforms now are worth like between 20 and 25 million a year to the team.
Yeah,
and I guess the Pirates. I don't think the Pirates have a patch, but like.
Couple teams.
The Pirates patch would be worth 25. I think 25 was what maybe the Yankees, if they have one, they would go for that. But that's a pretty good player just for wearing a patch on your arm. Hopefully it doesn't say Anusol or Vagisil. Maybe it'll say something that's like a little more palatable. I guess. But
started with the NBA a couple years ago. Remember when they all started wearing the little advertising and you'd see the old GE on the Celtics? You're like, oh, that kind of makes sense. It looks like an old GE type thing. You're like, it fits. Yeah, the Bulls are wearing Zenny on theirs. I'm kind of shocked that the American sports culture hasn't. Well, compared to what they do in like the European soccer, how they come up with 3 new kits every year. The kits are uniforms, right? They come up with 3 new uniforms every year, sponsored by someone. So you buy a new jersey every year to be current, you know? So you want to be your current team. Imagine if like the Yankees could have a new new jersey every year with like a new, you know, corporate
Think about how much
sponsor
money they
on
would
the
have if
shoulder.
they did that. They kept it
Exactly.
so straight up.
But we're such, you know, a well, this is how we've always done it culture. You
Well,
know,
the
we're so
Cubs have been
tied
that
to
way too.
our history in a way. You know, we're so tied to that. So it's a, we'll see. We'll see how long it takes for them to break that mold too.
I know a lot of teams have
business.
A lot of teams have like the Army fatigues.
Yep, they have alternate
Memorial Day or
uniforms.
something like that. And you got like something like pink for Mother's Day.
Do you remember the
Last
old
I
vests
heard-
with
Day
t-shirts?
uniforms.
Yeah.
The vests with the t-shirts?
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Those
it's
are cool.
not so much a vest, but it was like
The Reds used to wear those.
It's just like a jersey with cutoff sleeves,
Yep.
and then you wore the t-shirt on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
That was Colorado. That was Cincinnati.
Oh yeah, they had it. Yeah.
I think
remember
Miami did that.
I think there's some rule in MLB that you can't change your jersey like within 5 years, or maybe it was 3 years. So
Really?
like you can't just keep rotating them because you know we have the illusion of history or whatever the hell they want to keep. But I don't know if they still have that or who negotiates that or what it is.
Huh.
But yeah,
So
imagine the
Marlins are stuck with those ice cream uniforms that
Imagine if the Marlins could come out with 3 new jerseys every year, you know, and just come out
Looks
with
like they got the ice cream truck parked in center field.
Yeah, the one uniform, it looks like they're working at like some ice cream parlor or something like
that Padres one with the one pink sleeve and the one green sleeve. You seen that?
Yeah, I've seen some of the weird Padres ones. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But like I say, they're not targeted to me. They're not targeted at the 54-year-old white guy who loves baseball. So I'm not getting my panties a bunch over that shit. You know,
in our demographic,
so don't play. I'm happy. You know, I'll give
in our demographic, it's the exact opposite. Like we wouldn't buy a jersey to keep up. We'd be more proud of the older the uniform was, you know, like that would be cooler to guys like us, you know. But
well, that's how they get you, you know. It's like, hey, we're wearing the retro jerseys. Remember the retro jersey? I'm like, yeah, I'm buying one, sucker. Yeah, man.
I've been a fan of this team since 1971. How old are you, man? You're pretty old.
Older than 71. Did you freeze, Jeff?
No, I'm still sitting here.
Just stoned.
Pretty much.
Right with you. I'm up in Michigan, so yeah.
You know what the weirdest thing was? I was I came home and my neighbor was sitting there. Remember Chad Wolf, the beer rep?
I love that guy. He's great.
Okay, so I come home and apparently Chad Wolf and my neighbor were working at the dispensary in Rosemont together, and they quit at the same time. Awesome. And they're in the backyard hanging out. And Chad's like, Jeff? I'm like, yeah. He's like, Chad Wolf? I'm like, no shit. So basically, the reason why I kind of got over here late today was because I was over there smoking weed with those dudes, drinking beers, and then I got over here and I was like, I'm a little fucked up.
Yeah, I met him when he was bartender at Map Room. He was great, dude. Well, nice, good bartender.
Fucking awesome guy. Yeah. They're over there barbecuing and shit and eating fucking short ribs and stuff.
I used to go to Map Room waiting around for Lemmings to open.
Yep.
I'd come into town like really early, you know, I don't know, 10 a.m.
I thought it was Pizza Due.
Yeah, I'd go to Due, and then I'd go up to Map Room and wait around for Lemmings to open. Because Map Room was open like earlier than Lemmings anyway.
Yeah, they wake up. They're open early for coffee and stuff in the morning.
They're still around?
Oh yeah, they do well. Yeah, that place ain't going anywhere. I might have to wrap it up, gentlemen. No, I've it's 11 o'clock here and got to get some family to sleep.
Oh, I understand that. I've got a 7 o'clock meeting online, but I have to be at the fucking main office at 8 o'clock. So that meeting's going to have to be in my car while I'm in a traffic jam the whole way.
Good luck with the traffic tomorrow.
Oh my God.
Oh, have you heard about the Kennedy Lou? Oh, it's awful.
I have to drop Henry off at his college orientation tomorrow. So.
Oh, nice.
He's graduating on Wednesday.
Good for you.
Congratulations, Daddy-o.
You're almost going to be an empty nester.
No, not really, but at least no high school. No high schoolers.
Yeah.
Oh, done with high school drama.
Oh, I've been ready for this for at least a year because I just can't. I can't. You get emails every day from them, several, and they're all the same except for one little point. I used to search for what was different. Now I just delete. As soon as they come in, I delete them.
It's not going to matter too much, especially to me. It's not going to matter. So. Well, it was great chatting with you guys. Thanks again for having me on. Sorry I didn't bring as much. I wasn't as prepared.
It's awesome.
This week.
And you know what? This is like I think this is podcast number 11.
They've
I was
been
kind
great.
of doing the math on it. We did two of us. We did two by ourselves, and then Chris was our first. And if you Steiger out of the situation, I think this is number 11.
Chris might be back with us end of the summer or something like that.
I'm here anytime you need me, gentlemen. Love chatting with you.
This is one question I have. On the third go around, do we do two guests at a time?
Ooh.
Towards the end of the season.
Maybe. We'll see. I mean, I don't want to like everybody talking over each other.
No. I mean, we can just we'll figure it out. But I think it'd be a good idea.
Or the last
one,
we could
all be having Larkin and Chad together, or Norm.
So much hair.
The last one we could all be on.
It was great seeing you guys.
All right, man. Have fun up there in Michigan. Enjoy.
Have a great week, guys. Go baseball.
See you, Chris.
Go baseball. Good luck this week.
You're the best.
I'll look at his face until he figures this shit out. Oh, Lou. Yeah, sorry, I got to the party a little fucking like happy already. But that was fun.
Well, you've done. I think there was another one where maybe it was just last week or recently. You were stone cold. So.
Oh, I was like sober.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like last week.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even fucking lick to drink. I was just like, man, I'm gonna not be so goofy and fucking like focus. But I don't know. I don't watch these things over again. I don't know how good they are. I don't fucking we just have fun. And you know what? When the season's over, then I'll go through and watch it again.
Yeah.
And relive the season. If only I don't wind up in like anywhere from 5th to 10th place or 11th place. Yeah. So if I make a run for it, yeah.
All right, well, dads better get cracking.
I know, man. It sucks. Sucks. Everything sucks right now. Anything I try to do sucks. You know what? Since Chris started bitching about the whole fucking relief pitcher thing, I've been watching it, and he's cursed. He's fucking cursed. No matter who he throws in there, gets some fucking negative and fucks this shit up every time. Every time. So I feel bad for him.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that he'll do better going forward. I mean,
too bad.
Can't have that bad luck all year.
Right. No, that's exactly what I'm saying. It's like he's got severe bad luck with the relief pitchers this year. Look at the numbers he's gotten on him.
He was 90 something points, 94 points from saves and holds.
Hard. Yeah, it's rough.
And like Satch at 211, I think it was.
It's just bad luck. I can't fathom that it's just bad luck. I think it's just bad luck. I mean, anybody he picks up gets him fucking just doesn't do shit for him.
I think last week it was 26 points was an extra win. So that's like over 4 wins right there between Knockers and Satch, just from those relievers, just from the saves and holds. That doesn't include if the relievers are letting up earned runs and all that stuff, So it's big. It shouldn't be that big, but it's just such an extreme thing.
So, I mean, if it was for his hitters are fucking crushing it. It's pitching that's like fucking wrecking him.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's a real Jekyll and Hyde, right? I mean, second in the hitting.
Dude,
and
the thing is, so
pitching.
He's still in a good spot. He's right in the middle. And if his luck switches up and changes, I mean, he's set up where his hitters are going to get the most of his points, and he's going to have to give up those innings, so the pitching is not going to be there. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens, whether he like floats down or floats up.
You know, with this with how our innings are, you know, there's a big discrepancy in like his innings and then somebody else's. That kind of hides the how bad his pitching is, because if he's got some more innings, he's gonna be closer. He's gonna appear closer, you know, on a total points level from pitchers. But if you look at just these rate stats, you know that his pitching has to be the worst in the league, because he's like 11th in ERA, 10th and 5th, something like that. And then we know that his relievers are the worst, you know, so far. So like he's got the worst pitching in the league, and he should be, you know, he's usually an above average player, and he spent close to average on pitching. So at worst, you would think like he would be like 7th in the league in pitching or something like that, you know?
Yeah. Right now, I mean, if you don't have a hold of pitchers right now, everything that's out there is like a fucking 5+ ERA. Fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I still want us to try to get to 12 if we can. I don't want
well,
people.
yeah.
I don't want people not to look for it because they're like, shit, and you know, there'll be even less pitching. So.
We'll see. You know what? My brother seems like the analytical type that might be, but I gotta see what his Dungeons and Dragons shit is doing. It's like
Same
we
weekend.
got some guys in this league that love that too. I get both of it, but you know.
Same weekend. But there was another guy, not your brother, that you were talking to, I think, too, right? And I know Phil had a guy, but I think their draft is always going to be the weekend that we have our auction, you know. So
yeah.
It doesn't work.
But we'll figure it out.
Phil was doing that draft during the auction, right? In the early part of the auction, I think he was finishing up his other draft. That's not fun.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know, but we'll figure it out. Anywho, I've got an early meeting starting at 7 a.m. on Zoom, not Zoom, but maybe Microsoft Team. But the whole time I got to drive into town while I'm doing that meeting because I have to be at the main office at 8 o'clock. So
you need a good night's sleep.
Interesting, huh?
You need a good night's sleep.
Yeah, I think so. So I'm gonna bow out. I think we're at the 2 hour mark right now.
2, yeah, a little over 2, yeah.
So we good. Anyway.
All right, Jeff.
As always, I enjoy the hell out of it. And
we'll see you next week.
Yeah, no shit, right? Number 12 next week.
Let's see if the dads can get multiple wins this week. How about that?
I'm hoping that I just don't go negative on any pitcher. All I want. Let me go positive every fucking pitcher. Thank you. That's all I need.
As soon as we're done, I'm going to see how bad Tyler Anderson did in Texas.
Oh,
it could be ugly.
I haven't looked at anything yet. It's just like, yeah.
That's
I didn't have a whole lot going anyway. So I mean, it's like if I got 27 to 30 points, I'm happy.
That's the kind of start that Kimmler and probably Chris, probably Sass would be like, oh no, I'm not starting Tyler Anderson in Texas. Only crazy fucks like Lou would do that.
Yeah.
So we'll see. All right.
All right, buddy.
Easy, Jeff.
You too. Have a great week, and I'll see you next week.
All right. Bye-bye.